Ooh, welcome back to the channel. So another video for you all, and today we are playing PTCG. So as you can see by the title, today we are playing Mega Sharpedo EX, the newest card in Fantasmal Flames, and we are playing it at the Troll Oz Premier League Challenge. So the prize for this challenge is $1,000 store credit. Am I going to win $1,000 store credit? Probably not. But we're going in for a little bit of fun, and again, to break that barrier of entry, I want to go out, I want to play a game of PTCG in the flesh. So it's the first time I'm doing it. I don't want to lie to you guys. This is probably the third time. So I've done pre-releases before. I don't really count those. I feel like these tournaments sort of are a little bit more serious. People do take it a little bit more seriously than a pre-release. So a little bit of a threat. It is a little bit more nerve-wracking because if you come up against people that are quite competitive, it can be quite scary. And you can feel a little bit intimidated, but most of the time people are pretty good. And I'm not the fastest player. I'm also not the slowest player. I'm normally pretty good, but when I'm not slow, I don't think as much, which probably isn't the greatest thing ever. But we're going with this Mega Sharpedo deck. I'm a huge fan of Sharpedo, huge fan of Mega Sharpedo in general. So I thought, why not give it a crack? Let's play a deck. Let's play a bit of a rogue deck. I built out something a little bit interesting that we will see, and we'll go through the deck profile after this part of the video. But essentially, we're going for the win. We're not really. We're going for a win. We're not going for the win. I just want to go in there. I want to have some fun. I want to try this deck out. If I brick, if I lose, it is what it is. This deck profile isn't great. This isn't a great deck. I'll be honest with you. I've played a few games with it online. Sometimes I absolutely stomp my opponents, and sometimes I brick and it really stuffs me around. But the whole purpose of this deck is to go super aggressive, and it plays plenty of Boss's Order, it plays plenty of Ionos for disruption, and we just want to go as hard as possible. So with this deck, we're not going in to win the tournament, like I said. We just want to win a game or a few games. It is what it is, but it's all part of the fun. So how we're going to structure this video out. Number one, we're going to go through a deck profile. I'm going to show you exactly what is in the deck with a little voiceover, so you will get a wrap up of that. Number two, we are going to see a PTCGL, so a Pokemon trading card game live match. It'll be a game of me playing online, just one game, give you guys a bit of a taste, see what the deck's like, and gives people something a little bit different to look at as well, right? Instead of being the same things all the time. And then at the end, we'll get a wrap up of how the tournament went, and I believe we do get some packs from participating at the tournament, so I guess we'll rip those at the desk as well. But nonetheless, let's jump into the deck profile. Okay, moved over to the table now, so let's jump straight into it. So we are running 3 copies of Carvana, and then we are running 3 copies of Mega Sharpedo EX. The reason we're running 3-3 line is just in case one gets prized, we should be all good in the hood. Next up, obviously for our energy acceleration, we've got a 2 and 2 line of Toxtricity. 1 copy of Purloin with the Invite Evil attack, and 1 copy of Lipard with the Dishonest Swap. 2 copies of Monkey Dory. And then for our basics, we have 1 copy of Psyduck for those pesky Dusknoirs. We got 1 copy of Pheasantipity EX for the draw. We got 1 copy of Pecharunt EX to pull things from the bench. And then we got our tech of Roaring Moon to take out those big Pokemon with Frenzied Gouging. Moving into items now, we are running 4 Buddy Puffin, and we are running 4 Ultra Ball. Then we're running 1 copy of Nest Ball and 1 copy of Super Rod. Next is supporters. So we got 4 copies of Lily's Determination for our draw, and to go real aggressive with this deck, we are running 4 copies of Boss's Orders. Now for a small amount of disruption, we've got 4 Iono. We've also got a little bit more draw with 2 copies of Professor's Research, and we've got 1 Turo. For our stadiums, we have 2 Gravity Mountain and 1 Town Store. And for our tools in this deck, we've got 2 copies of Air Balloon, 1 Binding Mochi, 1 Punk Helmet, and our ace spec is 1 copy of Hero's Cape. And to round it out, we have 9 copies of Dark Energy. All right, one final game for the video. We're just gonna make sure that we actually play a full game, all right? That's the most important thing. 2 AFKs, that just goes to show this deck is broken. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go first, a little bit contrary to what I said in the first game, but I'm gonna try it. And like I said in the last game, I wanted to try going first, went first, and it sort of worked out. Not a great mulligan to see what they play. Eevee sleeves, makes me think it's Eevee box. Probably not. Probably just likes the sleeves, but I guess we'll find out in a second. Okay, so starting with the Toxel. Not the worst, not the greatest, but also not the worst. So start with Toxel, at least we're starting with a Buddy Puffin. We can put something into play instantly off that first turn. Chuck Carvanha down. Probably double Carvanha, depending on what they're playing. If it's something that can knock me out, ooh, it could be something that can knock me out turn 2. I can definitely play a... only time will tell, right? So we're going to go double Carvanha. We're going to go with the basic energy on one of them. And we're going to go end turn. See what happens here. I reckon it's Ceruledge, potentially. Ooh, we're about to find out. Soul Rock for sure here, just quietly. Yep. So it's hard to say. It could be Lucario, it could be Soul Rock, it could be Ceruledge. Find out from this. Ooh, it's Lucario. Did I say Soul Rock? I don't know, I can't remember now. I feel like I did. We're going Riolu. Can't really do much with the Lunatone in the active. There's not much I'm going to be able to do next turn either, really. Lily's Determination is probably what I'm looking at. He'd be playing Max Belt, I'd like to assume in here. He's drawn a few, got some Makahita. So we need to really go for that Riolu, is what we're thinking. There's not a lot I can do. I think the only thing I can really force here is Iono or Lilies. It's probably a good idea of why we ran double Carvanha. But he's got no way of getting that Lunatone out of the active right now. So I don't think the deck plays a switch. So we're going to go for an attach here. I think we just go for Lilies. I think it's our best bet. Draw for 8, see what we get. Mega Sharpedo, knew it was coming. And an air balloon. Can you make that up? I don't think you can, personally. We're going to have to go in with Carvanha with Mega Sharpedo. And we'll go for the draw 2. We'll probably need the draw 2 right now. Hopefully one is a Toxtricity. Oh, I can't make this up. And let's see what we get, right? So they're going to pull in for... don't really know, it's hard to say. The double Toxtricity is a great call in with the Roaring Moon on the bench. We're going to have to go for the 3 prizes. We're going to have to take that Riolu out somehow. So he's got the Mega Lucario. He's not going to be able to get a Mega Brave off, which is quite handy. Max damage output, we can KO this technically, but we need a very, very good draw. We need Binding Mochi, Pecharunt. I didn't even deck check, so we might not even have a Mochi or a Petch in the deck right now. So he is going to retreat with the Lunatone. So he's going into the Lucario, so he'll hit me for 130, potentially 160. If he uses a Premium Power Pro, which would be silly. I don't really see the need for the 130 plus 60. Maybe plus 30. 130 plus 30, so 160. So he's going for the Aura Jab. He wants to do a little bit of extra damage. He can take me out potentially with an Aura Jab on the next turn. I can also take him out here as well. Again, I just have to draw really, really well. Let's see what we get. So we've got another Iono, which is fine. Let's go into that. We're going to leave that for now. Let's go with an Iono and see what we can get. Punk Helmet's not bad. Not bad at all. How do I want to go about this? Pull the damage off him. I think we're going to go for that Riolu on the bench. think I'm gonna go like that. We'll get a energy there. I'm gonna have to Greedy Fang. So it sort of saves me. Oh, there's the Mochi that we needed, right? We've got 3 Buddy Poffin in hand, which is not the greatest thing ever. He's gonna have to start building up that Riolu on the bench, to be honest, because he can go for Mega Brave here if he really wants to, but it does force me into a position of KOing him next turn as well. Yeah, so he's gonna go for Aura Jab. Still can't KO me though, which is quite nice. And we're going to use the Monkey Dory to set up that Riolu once again. Bit of a misplay, because there's no way you can accelerate unless he's got Energy Switch, which I highly doubt there's an Energy Switch being played in this Mega Lucario deck. So he's going with Lily's Determination. Can't Boss, can't CC. He can Hariyama, but I think the only thing he can really go for is that Kavana that's there. And I don't really see that as too much of a threat because I can Buddy Poffin another one into play. I think here he may get a Hariyama or a Lucario. He's going for a Mega Lucario again, which is fine. Because I think I can get the KO on it, to be honest with you. Depending on what he does here, Artisan. What's he going to go into? Another Lunatone, okay. So I can knock out either of them right now. So he will accelerate an energy onto the Lucario to Mega Brave, which doesn't really do him any favors, to be honest. Can Turo, I guess. So I will attach. I'm going to hold off on that for now. I think it's worth just going for the knockout, hey? 1, 2, 3. Let's start building this bad boy up, I think. Hungry Jaws for KO. Beautiful little play there, nice and easy. It was a big call for him to sort of make a decision there, but if I pull a Mega Sharpedo, I win. It's GG's, I think, on the next turn. He can Soul Rock me for KO. No, he can't. He can't even KO me with Soul Rock. Okay. Let's see what he's thinking here. He's going to go for the Soul Rock hit, which I think is smart, in my opinion. Air Balloon, okay. Lilies, which is fine. Again, not really getting a whole lot done on me. So he can counter catch me. Again, no need to. Like, he can counter catch me if he wants. It doesn't really achieve anything. I think he's realized that he's probably lost the game here, because if he plays the Lucario, like, it's over. He can Premium Power Pro. He can knock me out. There you go. But I don't really think there's anything else he can do. I think it's just GG's on the next turn. Oh, he's going for that Makahita. He's using that. He's going for the flex on it. So we'll do 100 for the knockout. We'll go into Toxtricity. It's just worth going into Toxtricity, regardless. All we need to do is draw a boss, right? Which we don't top deck the boss. Okay, so I've got to move my head out of the way for a second here because I can't do that. We're gonna go ahead and play Toxtricity down. I think I'm just gonna Buddy Poffin just to sort of see what's in the deck right now. Petch is in there, 3 bosses, 4 Ultra Balls. Okay. The reason why I'm not really too concerned about this is I know I can go and play another Monkey Dory down. I can take out a lot of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I think we win. I think it's GG's. So we'll go Adrenabrain onto Lunatone. Go for a 2-prize turn here. Take it off there. We'll go Lunatone. So that gives us 1. There's the boss that we needed. And that is GG. We use the tech, come in with the boss, frenzied gouging, and that is a GG, ladies and gentlemen. So what we are going to do is, I don't know what the next clip's going to be. I haven't really thought through a lot of these videos, but we get the win, we get the dub, and I'll catch you on the next clip. Okay, the dust has settled. We are now officially a couple of days post-tournament, which, you know, not too bad. So it was a good result. We placed 12th out of 40. I think it was like 38 or something like that. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. That's my 3rd official tournament that I've been to. So I'm pretty happy with that result. You know, it was one of those things. It was a little bit anxious going there. I did have someone, or 2 people, or 3 people technically, that I knew that were going. One of them I didn't know was going, but 2 of them I did know they were going to be there, which made it a little bit easier for me to get into. But it was just one of those things where still a little bit of anxiety, you know. It really actually does get the heart rate pumping. You know, I was telling my wife that I was like, you know, you're playing, and when it gets close, I'm like, you get like fucking nervous. I'm like, your heart rate goes up. It's pretty crazy. But it's also one of those things where it's awesome. It's really, really good fun. And, you know, every time I've been to one, I always sit there and think to myself, I've really got to start going to more. So I'm really going to start trying to find some time and, you know, play some rogue decks. We'll play some normal decks. I'm definitely going to go to Melbourne Regionals this year in April, regardless of going and practicing or not practicing. But what we're really here for is a review of each round. So they were best of 1. And there were 6 rounds, so 6 games played, best of 1. I do like a best of 1 format, a little bit quicker, a little bit smoother, and with this deck, the best of 1 was the way to go. So I've got some notes on my phone that I took after every game, so I'm going to read through those, give you a little bit of recap per game, and then we'll go from there. Game 1 was against Dragapult. Probably as expected, there was going to be a few Pults there. Expected a few Goldengos, a few Gardevoirs. You know, it was a challenge for $1,000 store credit. So as expected, people were going to go in with, you know, pretty good decks. And I went with a bit of a rogue deck. And people really loved the deck, to be honest with you. It was pretty cool. A lot of people didn't really know what it did, but still awesome to play. So game 1 was against Dragapult. Essentially, it was a pretty clean win. You know, the person just honestly just couldn't really draw very well. You know, lots of monkeys used on my behalf on just like Badoos for early prizes. So they played a Badoo, they tried attacking, and because Badoo does double damage, it was not the greatest for them. They were putting counters on me, pulled out some Monkey Dories, moved some counters over, got some extra prizes by taking out the Badoos, and just sort of got ahead, which made this a little bit easier. So it made that game a hell of a lot easier for me, getting ahead that soon. So took out a bunch of Badoos, took out a few like Dreepies, and then by the time they got a Dragapult out in the field, and they were using Dusknoir as well. I used Psyduck. I used it relatively late in the game because I didn't want them to know that I had it. They hadn't set up any Duskulls yet, so the idea was until they're deciding to start setting them up, let's try and get a few prizes ahead. So it's like they're thinking, oh, okay, you know, it's a risk of me using them, and then they start setting them up, and then it was just like, bam, Psyduck down, can't use them, can't get rid of them. So it was pretty much a clean win at first. Game 2, now this was probably the most frustrating game of them all. For people that don't know, there's a new rule in the Pokemon TCG where it goes turn 0, turn 1, and then the game is a tie if no one can win it. I played against a Gardevoir. It was quite an easy game, to be honest with you. The person that I was playing was just taking a lot of time with their turns, so eventually ran out the clock. A few people crowded around us to watch us because we were the last game, and I think a lot of people realized it was like I had it in the bag, but you know, the person person I was playing was just taking time with their turns, letting that clock run out. It got to turn 0 and it was their turn, and I was not far off winning. To be honest with you, the reason I won was the Lipard. So the Purloin Lipard combo was fantastic. They would attack into my Sharpedo, my Mega Sharpedo, and then what I was doing, free retreat, I'd retreat it onto the bench, move the Lipard up, move all the damage across to the opponent's Pokemon. They were playing a Mega Diancie, and what was happening was I'd move all that damage across, they were dropping 240 on me, I'd move it across, and then they'd essentially just picked it up, two-road it, played it back down, and it was just rinse and repeat, to be honest with you. We just kept doing that, and then eventually time ran out. Had it have been the old style where it was you go turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, I probably would have won the game. So copped a tie on that game too, which is really annoying. The person that I actually drew with ended up coming 2nd or 3rd, I believe, so a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So game 3 was against a Dragapult. There's not really much to say, to be honest with you. The opponent got stitched up massively. They prized 3 Dracoloaks. So essentially it was just your typical back and forth. I think I took out their Lady Yas for obviously double damage, and it was an easy KO. Took a couple prizes there and just took up a few. I think I took out like 2 of their Badoos. They got to their Dragapult on the last turn, and what I was actually managed to do, I got Ionoed, and then the cards that I got coincidentally were actually good and what I needed. So in the end, what it was a Monkey Dory play from an Ultra Ball, and then it was Energy with Toxicity to the benched Sharpedo, and then I believe it was move damage over with the Monkey Dory, Grav Mountain down, and a 1-hit KO on the Dracoloak, which was actually a huge little play that I had to make in the end there to get the win. Look, I think if I didn't win that turn, I probably would have won the next turn, to be honest. Their Dragapult would have been on way too low HP. They still had all the Dracoloaks in the prizes, so a pretty easy win there. Game 4 was actually against Future Box, which was a bit of a rogue deck. To start off with, we just both drew awfully. It was very much draw, pass, draw, pass, draw, pass for a couple of turns, which was annoying for both of us, but eventually we both got a little bit of momentum going. Then essentially what happened was, because it was Future Box, he was playing an Iron Leaves. He took out my Sharpedo with the Iron Leaves, which was a little bit annoying, and it had a cape on it as well, so double damage. He had a couple Iron Crowns that make it do a little bit of extra damage as well, so that took me out. And then on the next turn, essentially, I had a low HP. Sorry, no, he didn't take out the Mega Sharpedo. The Mega Sharpedo just took a fuckload of damage. And then what happened was he pretty much on the next turn bossed up my other Mega Sharpedo, retreated into Tachyon Bits with an Iron Valiant, knocking out my bench Sharpedo, and then moved up the Iron Leaves and took out my Sharpedo that was full HP, because Iron Leaves does 180 damage. It was double damage, so it does 360. It took me out. So I pretty much took that loss, which is really annoying on like one turn. So he took 6 prizes on one turn, which is pretty crazy. Game 5 was against a Zard. I love and hate this deck. It's probably like my favorite meta deck to play. I play it quite often. That's usually the meta deck that I do play if I play online or anything like that. But yeah, really hate this deck, but it's just when you come up against it, you can't really do a lot about it, but it was fair game. So essentially how the game went, I took out a Charmander of his, he came in and took out one of my Toxel, I took out one of his Zards with a Gravity Mountain and Binding Mochi combination, so it was pretty good, pretty easy to take that out there, and then he was just able to get another one up with a Defiance Band, so he ended up getting up the Zard, attached a Defiance Band, and then was able to take out one of my Mega Sharpedos, which was a little bit annoying, and took that KO, and then at the end of the game, I think he just bossed up my Pecharon, and then he took those final 2 prizes, and I ended up losing that one. So into game 6, the final game of the round. It's funny because in the game before I jinxed it. I was talking to the guy that I was playing against, and I was just like, man, it's so funny because I just expected to brick this deck and just like not even have a chance most of the time, and just really like stitch myself up and just kept bricking, but it didn't happen at all until this next game. Came up against Guardy, bricked for like 3 turns, and when I was in the game, I was saying to the person, I'm like, oh man, you've won this, like you've won this, you've won this, you've won this, and they also ended up just bricking. They had a decent setup to begin with, but then they started bricking, and I took out their only Gardevoir that was on field. And then once I took that out, it was just a breeze from there. It was just like Mega Sharpedo taking everything out because I had no way to accelerate. Lots of bosses, you know, I was bossing up, like she played a Ralts. I'd boss up the Ralts to take out the Ralts, and it was just pretty easy from there. And then I ended up winning that one. So I was pretty stoked with that. So to finish, we went 3-2-1, which I'm absolutely stoked about. All I wanted to do was win one game. So to go 3-2-1 in a challenge is pretty cool. Yeah, and I was absolutely stoked. But will I do this again? Absolutely. I loved it. It was so much fun. I definitely want to try and get some more games in. I definitely want to try and get some more games in with different decks. I've got a whole bunch of decks built that I've never actually taken out into the real world and played. So I know I've got an Alakazam deck that I could go out and play. I want to build a Heracross deck just for something different too. I've got a Hydrapple deck, which is pretty cool. And then obviously I got my Charizard deck, and I'm also trying to build another Charizard deck now with the Fantasmal Flames coming out. I want to just attempt to sort of play something a little bit different as well with that deck. So bring in a Mega Lopunny and just things like that. So that'll be pretty cool as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is the day after. I got home pretty late last night, around 11 o'clock. So we are going to rip these packs. Save the best bit till the end. So what did we get? We got a prize pack series 7. We got a prize pack series 6. And we got a pack of Fantasmal Flames. So we're going to transition over to the pack camera, and we're going to jump straight into it, starting off with Fantasmal Flames. So a Fantasmal Flames pack here, ready to rumble. Let's see what we can pull. Hopefully we can pull something good. I don't think I heard of anyone that was there last night that pulled anything too major, but we got a Darumaka, we got a Milcery, we've got an Oddish, Ghastly, Punk Helmet, El Creamy, Ceruledge, a reverse holo Charmander, a reverse holo Dizzying Valley, and an Apom. So nothing in that pack there. There's a code card for everybody to utilize. Move those off to the side. So we'll start with the prize pack series 6. So I haven't actually ripped too many of these. I'm hoping I get some playables that I can put into the deck. I do like having like a stamped card in my decks occasionally. Just to confirm, there is only 6 cards in these packs. I don't know what the big hits are on the Series 6, but it will be interesting to see. Always hopefully get something good. So starting with a Janine's Secret Art, we have an Area 0 Underdepths. We got the Buffalant. Oh, it's not even a reverse. It's a holo Counter Catcher, which is very nice. The next up is a holo Water Energy, and then the final card is a non-holo Fighting Energy. And anyone who wants the code card, there it is. Now let's move those off to the side, and let's wrap it up with a prize pack series 7. So jumping into this one. Okay, let's see what we get here. So we got Regigigas, Tatsugiri, not bad. Another Buffalant. Maybe I can build a Buffalant deck. A holo Fighting Energy. The next one. Ooh, SFA. Is that a Night Stretcher? Ooh, Colress's Tenacity. And a Water Energy again. So, oh, it's going to fall there. Nothing too crazy in those packs, unfortunately. But they're the packs. So we got 3 packs last night, and then obviously the prizes were store credit after that. So nothing too crazy. The Counter Catcher is actually pretty good, so that'll probably go into one of my decks, most likely my Charizard deck that I've got built out. But let's jump back to the other camera. I'm probably wearing different clothes because I probably filmed it with a better get up than this. I thought I was on the way to the gym. Let's rip these packs now. So we'll transition back over to the other spot, and we'll wrap up the video. But yeah, absolutely loved it. It was a good result. I was happy 3-2-1. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, let me know, give it a big like, give it a subscribe, whatever you need to do. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.